Eva Ortahan.
Yo, this is me. Look up. What's up? What up? What up? What up? Glad to be here, man. Very glad to be here. Very special shout out to Larry B, who runs this thing, and the homie Andre Fernandez, who referred me to sort of get me involved in this thing. So I am excited to get it started. Obviously, Georgia Sports Central, gonna be talking some Falcons, right? Coming off the win from the Saints, going into another game, division game this Thursday against the Bucks. The Braves. Yo. Wild card game one last night didn't end the way we would like it to end. But, we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about Georgia. Can we rebound, right? The oldest, Deep South's oldest rivalry coming up this Saturday. So, see what's going on with that. We'll talk about Georgia Tech, too. We'll talk about some Tech stuff. Obviously, they were on the bye this past weekend, and they got Duke coming up. So we'll also we'll talk about the Hawks a little bit, man. Training camp just started. So, that's what's up. Let's see. Let's see what we got going on here. Larry B says, good morning from the gym. What is good, Larry B? Hey, I am very happy to be here. As you can see, excited, ready to go. T. Rodriguez. Hey, what's up from the West Coast, man? I appreciate the love, man. Georgia. That's how you say it when you from Georgia and they done lost, bro. You got to put it like make it two syllables, like split in the middle as if it's two separate words or whatever. But again, like I said, I am very glad to be here, and shouts out, man, to IE Sports Radio for putting me on and sort of giving me the opportunity to talk about stuff I love: football, basketball, baseball, all those things, man. Sports, man. One of the greatest things on earth. Well, you can follow us on X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at IE Sports Radio. You know what I'm saying? So if you're on any of those platforms, feel free to go on there, search us down, or follow, subscribe, whatever you need to do so that you're caught up and get something. Getting big. You said getting big. Hey, man. We some gym rats, bro. We've been in touch the past couple of weeks as we've gotten this thing together and putting the certain steps in place to do this. That we like to pump some iron, if that's what you want to call it. So if you're on any of these platforms, go search for us, find us, so that way you don't miss out on any of the episodes. There's like tons. Like when I came onto this thing, I didn't realize how large the network is. Again, shouts out to everybody involved in IE Sports Radio, because there's like a lot. There's a lot of stations out there, a lot of channels, a lot of content for you to consume. If you are a fan of any sport, right? It's all covered there. So let's see. IE Sports Radio is available on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music /Audible, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and GeoSavant. So wherever you can find podcasts, you can find IE Sports Radio, man. Wherever you can find that stuff, you can find this show as well. So you can find it at iesportsradio.com/Georgia Sports Central. If you want to catch this show on the audio side, you can't watch it visually. You know what I'm saying? I understand. There's quite a few podcasts that I sort of make time to listen to when I can, and I can't do it visually, so I have to listen. So that's it, what it is. So shouts out to that as well. Let's see. If you can't tell, I'm like overly overly excited about this. Let's see. Shop too, man. IEsportsradio.com has a shop. Get you some merch, y'all. Get you some merch, bro. Get you some stuff, man. Represent the show, man. If you become, say for instance, you get, catch on a couple shows on IE Sports Radio, and you sort of get attached to them and become fans of the hosts and things of that nature, and you want to sort of, represent. There you go, man. Represent, man. Go to IEsportsradio.com/shop. Get yourself some merch, bro. I mean, I plan on getting me some because I would love to be here and sort of having this logo you see in the top corner right there, right here. Not covering the Atlanta, though, man. But, it is what it is. Also on YouTube, IE Sports Radio, just search it on YouTube. You'll be able to find all of the channels, man, all of the videos that are either upcoming or have already been recorded and sort of been live streamed and things of that nature. And yeah, man, get on some of this stuff, man, because it was really good that I was able to get this opportunity, because once I was able to see like what the goings on behind the scene, I'm like, yo, this thing is massive, man. It's massive. And new channels being brought on daily, if I understand correctly. So yeah, everything sports, right? Everything sports. Your direct feed for all that is sports. So let's keep going. If you look, if you look for me on any stretch of social media, at 2279 ACS, underscore for that for Twitter or for X. Apologies, because they hate my guts. So I had to add underscore to my name for that. But for the rest of them, it's just at 2279 ACS. I also have channels that if you can't see around me, I am a fan of all things, bro. Pop culture, movies, TV shows, comic books, like everything you could see. There's so much stuff around me that you could sort of channel my interest and see the kind of stuff that I like to watch. So if you're interested in all that other stuff, I do have, search the ACS Universe on YouTube. You'll find my YouTube channel where I talk about those movies and TV shows, video games, all kind of stuff, pop culture kind of stuff. And also I do have another team. We talk about a little bit of sports on Insta Replay. Every Monday and Thursday at 7 p.m. We talk about the entire league, not just specific to one region or state. We talk about all of the league and all of college football. So you go down. Let's see, man. Yeah, man. Hey, I'm into it all, bro. You can see, you see it. You can see Superman back there. Yeah, man. I get into it. Man. Get into it. Jugger. Hey, let's go. Let's see, make sure I got all everything. All right, man. Look. When I get, we got to take a break real quick, and when we get back, man, we're gonna jump right into this Falcons game, man. And I'll give you a little brush up, because since I wasn't here to talk about the first 3 games of the season, I'll talk about those just briefly, and then we'll get into this past week's game against the Saints, man, that took place in Atlanta.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right. Those were the sponsors, y'all. Sponsors, you know what I'm saying? Sponsor the show, Planet Jerky. I need to give him some Planet Jerky. I mean, I'm from Georgia, so it's not even a question if I like jerky or not. Jerky is delicious. It is. I've had many different types. You live down here, and you know, I tell you what, you live in Georgia. It's not it's not an irregular thing for somebody just to bring deer jerky to work, bro. Just show up at work with deer jerky. You want to try some? Of course I do, because you know I like jerky and I'm from Georgia. So there's that. Hey, yo, Planet Jerky is fine. Hey, seal the deal. Hey, wax seals, yo. Let me just make it real quick. You can find it right here. Seal the deal, iesportsradio.com/seal the deal wax seals. Yo, those are dope, man. Like when I first came aboard and was sort of watching streams and sort of looking at this, you know, the products or whatever, and I was like, oh, what is that? And I was like, wait a minute. You talking about seal your letter like Game of Thrones, bro? Like pour the wax, put your family crest in it, and sort of that's dope, man. That's dope. So get you some of those. I'm sure my wife is interested in that. I showed it to her, and she's like, "Oh, that's dope." So like she might be in the market for some seal the deal wax seals. That's incredible, man. That's dope. Like I might be in the market for some seal the deal wax seals. Just mail somebody a letter for no reason. They go, you could have called me. I'm like, nah, I just really wanted to put my family crest on this envelope. So yeah, seal the deal wax seals. Get y'all some. Let's see who's up in the chat. Hey, appreciate you all the love, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I really appreciate it, though. Hey, first time in, I'm like excited and ready to get into this thing. So I appreciate y'all. That's the OG, right? Yeah. So let's jump into it, man. Real quick before we get into the Falcons, because we're going to talk about Falcon Saints. I did want to give you guys sort of a personal introduction because you guys don't really know me that well, and I don't know the audience that well. So My name's Anthony, personally. Hey, Anthony, I'm never been afraid to tell you I'm 47 years old. Never been afraid of how old I was, man. Wise, boy. I've been around, seen a lot of stuff, watched a lot of sports in my life. So, been here for a while. Served in the military. I was in for 7 years, had 3 deployments. I spent some time in Hawaii, stationed there, and some time in Texas and El Paso. And then, of course, the deployments, Iraq and Afghanistan. And after that, man, I just been keeping around, man. Since I got out in 2013, just living life, you know what I'm saying? And sitting in a good place right now, and sitting in a good place right now on IE Sports Radio. So I appreciate that a lot, this opportunity, man. And yeah, so real quick, sports fandom, Georgia sports is my thing. I will be honest with you, though. And I feel like I can't, all of my other shows on all my YouTube channels or whatever that I talk about anything, I always wanted the most important thing to me is to keep it 100 with the people watching. So I just like everybody to just be like real. I'm not the biggest Falcons fan, but have no fear, Falcons fans. If you come here to hear Falcons news and things of that nature, I will cover them like I cover every other sport. The perfect example is I'm a Georgia fan, which means probably not a Georgia Tech fan, but I will cover Georgia Tech just like I cover Georgia because it is Georgia sports. And if you're coming here on IE Sports Radio to Georgia Sports Central to listen to Georgia sports, then I will give it to you the only way I know how. Journalistic integrity and all of that kind of stuff, just to be honest and give you my opinions and things of that nature. So without further ado, let's jump in, man. The Falcons, bro. They so Falcons have a few things, right? Open up the season against Pittsburgh. I remember during the offseason, as soon as the ink was still wet on Kirk Cousins' contract, I was like, the Falcons are winning the NFC South, right? There's no chance. Like, I know that the Bucs made it to the playoffs last year, but I was like not thinking they would be as good as they are. So I didn't think they would repeat. Obviously, you got the Saints. They didn't even make playoffs. So like they out of there. And then you got the Panthers, which that's a whole other story. So I said, shit, the Falcons, Kirk Cousins, Bijan Robinson, all these weapons, they are going to literally win the NFC South, right? Then the season started, and then the Bucs were good. And first week against Pittsburgh, again, since I hadn't been here, this is my first time. I'll give you just a little bit of backtrack. They played Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense is nasty, filthy. They're really good, right? And then, I guess still some meshing that needed to be done with the Falcons when you're talking about their first game of the season with Kirk Cousins behind center. And look, they struggled a little bit on offense. They did. Obviously, the main scoring in the game from the Falcons came from defense and special teams, and we'll get into that in a second. But I mean, Kirk Cousins, decent, over 200 yards passing, no touchdowns, interception. Same thing for Derek Carr, right? You know what I'm saying? 200 plus yards passing, but no touchdowns and interception. Yeah, the Falcons. Hey, they have, man. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. So they come into the season like that, and you're like, okay, first game, jitters, first game. I mean, look. There's a lot of things you could say about sports. First game in the NFL across all platforms, college, professional, when these teams sort of and officials also, there's bad calls on both sides. There's the rust, right? It is the first official game that counts of the season. So you're going to see some stuff like that and from offenses and defenses, of course, but the Steelers always come when they got defense ready to play. So they come in there, took the Falcons down. The next week against the Eagles, right? Against the Eagles, Kirk Cousins pulls off that fourth quarter magic touchdown, right? Drake London, right? Falcons are 1-1. Everybody's go, oh shit, right? You know what I'm saying? And then hold on, y'all give me just a second. I'm looking at something right here. Okay, apologies. Big game tomorrow against Tampa Bay. You nervous for that? You know what? It's in Atlanta. Not kind of, but not really. I mean, look, man. When the games are this early in the season, it's sort of like I said at the beginning. I've been watching sports a long time. You get to the point where like panicking at the beginning of the season almost becomes absurd when it becomes early stuff, right? I mean, there's think about all the injuries that have happened so far this season, right? Some teams better than others, worse than others, but they panicking 3 weeks in when your team is still sort of my wife showed up in the chat. What's good to my lovely wife? Good to see you here supporting as always. But yeah, I would say not really. Who knows? Defense brings something. Obviously, we saw what happened to Baker and them. Not this past Sunday, right? They thumped on the Eagles, but the Sunday before that, Baker was constantly getting sacked and things of that nature. So they had a rough go at it. So no, I don't know. It's still early in the season. I'm not. Even the teams that are undefeated, the Vikings and the Saints, I'm still not here to say those guys are just going to run the season. That's definitely not going to happen. I mean, I ain't gonna say that's definitely not gonna happen, but I'm just not about to hand them the keys to the season just because of the last two undefeated teams. You understand what I'm saying? So, let's get back. I am getting off. I told you when I start talking, man, it just starts going. So, no, Falcons 26-24 over the New Orleans Saints. Like I said, both Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins were over 200 yards passing, one interception apiece. Yeah, a couple things. Like I said, the Falcons' first score was special teams, right? Shaheed. As long as I can remember playing sports and football and things like that, I have always known and been learned, and just listening to football on TV, like when you're returning punts, I thought you're supposed to put your heels on like the 10-yard line in most situations, and just if the punt goes over your head, you let it go because it's just going to go out the back of the end zone or whatever, right? Shaheed didn't. He caught it at like the 2-yard line, and it just went through his hands, and it was a fumble. And the Falcons caught it or recovered it in the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons, 7-0, right? So then you're moving right along with the game. And let's see, Taysom Hill. I thought it was going to be one of them games. The Saints are known to have, like, with the athletes they have on their team. There's been Alvin Kamara games, Chris Olave games, right, where like one player just takes over or whatever. Thought it was going to be there for Taysom Hill, but he ended up leaving hurt after just a little bit. But and again, another one, a pick six. There was a pick six. One of the I'm blanking right now. They got him from the Patriots, man. He's Judon, Matthew Judon. Got Matthew Judon, bumped a pass from Derek Carr, flew up in the air, picked off, ran back for another defensive / special teams touchdown, which put the Falcons, sort of up. And then obviously New Orleans, they're a good football team. They got a good offense, right? They made the game very, very close. Of course, with Younghoe Koo, 58 seconds or about 5 to 2 seconds left in the game, kicked a 58-yard field goal. It sort of put the Falcons ahead by 2, and it only left 2 seconds. So it is what it is. The NFC South, it's how competitive division sports can be, right? So it's always going to be a tough one against them. I think even the first time we play the Panthers is probably going to be tough because it just is. It's just division games. That's just the way the division games work. So yeah, but with tomorrow, we got the Bucks pulling up, bro. Bucks pulling up. As Teron was saying, Bucks pulling up to Mercedes-Benz, and we got to handle business, man. Got to handle business. So hopefully everything goes as planned. But again, the Bucks are a good team. So I expect fireworks tomorrow. It could be high scoring. Could be a lack of defense on both sides of the football, and then we just see a bunch of high scoring or whatever. So yeah. So I just want to make sure got to the Falcons thing. I know that it's I'm running a little bit long here because I do like to talk when I get going. But yeah, Thursday night football or Bucks pulling up to Mercedes-Benz, man. We should be ready for them. We should be ready. With that being said, apologies. Apologies again. First time. There's a lot of things working here that I'm sort of getting used to at the same time as you guys are getting used to me, like putting forth some Georgia sports. I am getting used to you guys and sort of running with this new thing, i.e. sports radio. So it's great, and I'm learning a lot, and think I'm getting the hang. Think I'm getting the hang of it. So yeah. So you listen to Georgia Sports Central, IE Sports Radio, with your host ACS, where you can find all things sports on IE Sports Radio, and be right.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
Hey sports fans, are you in the market for Florida sports or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For a down south education on Florida sports and athletics, it's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do yourself a favor. Check out Big Cheese Sports and Palm Tree Sports on IE Sports Radio, man. Your direct feed for everything sports. And you are watching Georgia Sports Central as we return back from the break. It is time to move on to some baseball, y'all. Man. Let me tell you something. If you are Braves fans, I guess this season it's been sort of the past weekend has been just for us as far as like the experience has been the same. I know we played the Mets twice on Monday morning or on Monday as well. We had a doubleheader to make up for some games that we missed throughout the season, which adversely decided whether or not the Mets or the Braves got into the playoffs in general, right? So we had that game, but we also had a weekend where Braves could have got it, man. Braves could have clinched it, man, a good bit earlier than they did. I'll tell you this. Give me just a second. I'll say this, man. You had d'Arnaud with the walk-off home run on let's see, get something done real quick. Apologies. With the walk-off home run on Saturday night, right? Got the walk-off home run on Saturday night. So you're thinking, one victory. That's all the Braves got to win. And then the next game against the Kansas City Royals on Sunday, just go ahead and take them out. We're done. We're good. Monday, we have nothing to worry about, right? Mets still have to win a game, but we're good, right? We're good. Of course, that didn't happen. We get beat 4-2 by the Kansas City Royals on Sunday. So we end up having to sort of play the doubleheader. Play the doubleheader, man, against the Mets, man. Look. Everybody has them. You know your division rivals. The Mets and the Braves, man, have some battles, man. They have some history. If I'm being, quite honest, it's real, right? So, along with some other teams, the Phillies and things of that nature, and the Dodgers, and just when being a sports fan is lovely, right? It's either lovely or it is the absolute opposite of that. So, like when you start thinking about it in that sort of context, it's a thing. So every team that you love has rivals, and every team that you love's rivals have fans, right? So there's this back and forth that always goes on. So when it comes to the Braves and the Mets, that's been a back and forth that's been going on for quite a long time, man, decades at that. So Braves, man, look again, like I said, had to have one of those games Monday, right? So first game Monday starts, Braves is up. Everything's looking good, right? It's looking like we're going to run away with this thing. And then, the eighth inning happens, and the Mets score 6 runs, bro. 6 runs. Braves are up 3-0 most of the game. 6 runs in the eighth inning. I'm like, then at the top, though, at the bottom of the eighth, the Braves, right? They come swinging them bats back, man. Braves come swinging the bats back and sort of take the lead back from them. 7-6. I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and – because, look, man, I'll tell you my feelings on that in a second. So they get the game back, right? They're in the lead, right? And then, obviously, we saw what happened after that. The Mets end up getting, hitting a home run. That's a 2-run shot, really, puts them up ahead for good. The Braves get struck out. Obviously, it's a doubleheader. We still have one more chance to make the postseason. And so I'll say my thoughts. Mets was sitting there, everybody, that second one. as a sports fan, I always like my team to play the best, man. I like to play and of course the Mets did once they knew that they had clinched the spot in the playoffs, they sort of sat some cats. So it was not as hard of a challenge to make it to the playoffs as it was that first game against the Mets because everybody was like all hands on deck, right? Hey man, resilient is not even the word, dude. There's like, let's see where we at. No other team in the Major League Baseball in history has ever made the playoffs in a year where 3 of their opening day starters missed like the final almost 40 games of the season, including the playoffs, right? Strider was almost instantaneously out for the season. Like opening day, it's like right around opening day, Strider goes out. Acuna, not even mid-season, goes out with the ACL. Everybody remembers it. I'm sure everybody saw it when it happened. You already know. If you've even been watching sports for 3 years, when you see a player go down non-contact like that, you know what it is, right? You know what it is. It's season ending more than likely, right? And then Austin Riley goes out. It's season in the industry in August. So the Braves, man, a lot of injuries, bro. Lots of injuries, and to just to even have made the playoffs is, it is what it is, man. First team to do it when you have that many players miss that many games to end the season. So that's shout out to him, man. And Snitker, man, great manager. So, but yeah, let's go back, man. Let's go back. They sort of won the second game. Well, it's a small victory. Obviously, like I said, I think the Mets had pretty much they had them put everybody down for the night, if you understand what I'm saying. So Braves took that one, made it to the postseason. Arizona Diamondback fans, apologies. That's just how sports works, right? It hardly ever goes in your favor to the point where you could just make it in for that. And honestly, because the Mets are that much of a rival, I kind of did want the sweep, right? Get them out of there, man. Tell you what, the Dodgers is one thing playing them players. Hey, I'm telling you right now, Braves fans do not want to see the Mets or the Phillies in the postseason, man. Not that we're afraid. It's just weird shit happens, right? What happened last season? Let's get back to it. The best team in the regular season of baseball rarely ever wins the World Series. Rarely, right? And look at last season's over. The Braves are the number 1 team in the league. You got just across the board, right? Just everybody was just beasting. It was a great team. Phillies clapped us right on out of that thing, right? So that's what I'm saying. If you look back at the history of Major League Baseball, the number 1 team across the season rarely comes home with rings, man. Rarely is hoisting trophies at the end of October. So evidence of it last year. So again, playing against the Phillies, it's weird shit happens, man. Weird shit happens in the playoffs, bro. Weird shit happens. And I'm kind of to the point of like, Dodgers one thing. Dodgers are fire now. I ain't trying to say the Dodgers, but when I say this, it's only because the Dodgers are rivals as well, and we faced each other in the postseason before. The regular season doesn't matter. Everyone is 0-0. Hey man, I agree to the extent, but when it's rivals, when it's them division rivals that you've played several stretches against throughout the season, weird stuff happens, man. Weird stuff happens. Yeah, wow, where was that? Let me get back to the game before I get carried away again, because like I said, I tend to do so. So tonight, man, or last night, lost 4-0 to the Padres. Game was the game was not as close as the score would lead you to believe. It was not a 3-0 game. Michael King clapped us, 12 strikeouts. One of the best postseason performances that I've ever watched with my own eyes. Is literally he had his way with us, right? Got a couple hits there, here and there, but he when he left the game, literally 0 on the scorecard for us. So he did what he was there to do. Fernando Tatis took Smith Shawver. Smith Shawver lasted 1.1 innings. Apologies, Cat. You just didn't have it tonight. You got out there and Tatis literally sent one to the wall on you. And I was like, damn, bro. This is how we starting this thing. And of course, like I said, he didn't make it that far. Let's look at a couple of them. Let's see. A couple of the best hitters is Padres hitting. Arias, let's see, one hit. A lot of one hits across the board. Look, the Braves pitcher wasn't that bad, except for Shawver. Like once we sort of subbed him out of the game, and put Bummer in there. then the stuff started going pretty well. He had a case like they scored one more. They had a home run. Higashioka in the 8th inning to add insult to injury, just to add some extra padding to them, right, to give them some extra scoring or whatever. But yeah, it's Padres. We got to play all the games there, man. So tonight is do or die for the Braves, right? Elimination game. Let's hope that we can extend this series at least till tomorrow, right? Let's not go out like that. Back when I was talking about sort of rarely the best team in the league doesn't win is because at the end of the season, when you're the best team, you don't play that much, right? But teams who are hot and sort of struggling to make their way into the playoffs when it's baseball, those teams are usually their bats are hot, their pitchers are just throwing straight smoke, and they're just good because they're right there at it, right? Because you're the best team in baseball, you probably had several streaks throughout the season, like the one that would take a team from the wild card to the World Series ring in the season. But like once you get here, these other teams are hot at the right time. So I figured the Braves would come out. I mean, look what the Mets did. Look at the Mets, man. Mets went out there and threw up 8 on them. Man, come on. See, I thought that's what we was gonna do. We got, we still hot. The bats are still, but again, it's I told you I like to keep it real here. The first game we was hot. Second game, Mets sat some cats, bro. Sat some cats. So we made it in there, but now it's time. It is very, very much time for these bats to get hot. Wait, who's on here tonight? Let's see. Who they got? King, man, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 12 strikeouts. Man, come on, bro. Dude was dealing to us, man. Dealing to a Smith Shawver. 1.1 innings, like I said. 1 strikeout, 3 earned runs. Bummer, 2.2 innings. Chavez, none of these dudes actually had let a hit. There was 1 earned run, but Jackson toward the end of the game, like I said, with that home run in the 8th, just to give them a little bit of padding before they moved on. But let me get back to these. Yeah, here we go. All right, talking about tomorrow or tonight. I'm sorry. I'm early morning. I work 3rd shift, so like this is like sort of right after I get off work, and I still have that mentality talking about tomorrow. But let's talk about tonight. Braves at Padres again, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you're gonna watch, let's take a look at this. Yeah, Padres trying to clinch, man. The elimination game. We got no choice but to play the most fire game we've played in the entire season. Have no choice, man. Max Fried is going to be the starting pitcher for us tonight. Joe Musgrove, right? Going for the Padres. Matchup predictor. They're still giving the Padres the edge because they're at home. So, see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Braves, you guys got to come on, bro. Come on, baby. Let's get them bats hot, man. Let's get them things going because I'm going to tell you right now, that's oh, man. Yeah, he took us to the wall. Took us to the wall in the 8th, man. That's we got to get it. We got to get it, Atlanta. We got to get it, man. We got to get it. Like, again, this is season over with, man. You don't fight that hard as you did this past weekend to make it to this stage and sort of just get blanked 2-0 in this series. We got to do it. It is, let's get them bats hot. And like I said, first team to make it to the playoffs. Like, again, some more things. Like I just mentioned, first team to make it to the playoffs when you have 3 opening day starters miss that many games at the end of the season. Don't let that just slide away by getting bounced by the Padres, swept. You know what I'm saying? The proverbial brooms are the Padres are trying to bring those out tonight, man. We can't allow that to happen. So we got to go with that, man. We got to go. But with that being said, man, let's move on, brother. Again, you guys are watching IE Sports IE Sports Radio. You're watching Georgia Sports Central on IE Sports Radio. To all things Georgia sports, all things sports on IE Sports Radio. And we're talking Georgia sports, man. We're gonna move on from the Braves. Let's get to Georgia, man. Let's get to Georgia. Let's get to Georgia, man. I will say, what a rough thing it's been, right? If you're a Georgia fan, you obviously know what I'm talking about. I've never sort of called for Kirby's job, And I know y'all like, whoa, what the hell? You ain't even got to Georgia. You talk about Kirby's job? Relax. Again, I have other outlets when it comes to sports. And I just said, look, man, Kirby, you've been brought to Georgia for one thing and one thing only, right? One thing only. You were on the staff in Alabama for years, defensive coordinator, really good one at that. But you were brought to Georgia for one thing. Ladies and gentlemen, he was brought to Georgia to beat Alabama. And he's only done it once. Once, son. Once. He's only done it once since he's been here, right? So, again, this is my first episode for IE Sports Radio, doing Georgia Sports. So I'm gonna give you a little back history so you guys exactly know how I sort of feel about the Bulldogs and stuff like that. So yeah, man, he's been here for a minute. We got 2 natties out of it, which I always appreciate. You know what I mean? Any Georgia fan would appreciate that. Beat Bama to get one of them. And it's been a journey. It has been a journey because up until that point, there was a lot of sayings, a lot of stuff. And again, I am a Georgia fan, you know what I mean? Georgia Bulldogs fan, and I live amongst Georgia Bulldogs fans. So there's always conversations that go on locally, and you talk to people and you just get the pulse. And it was like everybody's feeling the same kind of way. Like Kirby needs to do something soon because Mark Richt was here for a long time in Georgia, and he had a good record. Mark Richt we love Mark Richt, man. He couldn't win it. He couldn't win the games, bro. He couldn't win the big games, and he couldn't beat Bama like that. So it's when you come here, it's not exactly because we've had recent success against Georgia Tech and things of that nature. It's not exactly like even though that is, I'm sure that's our biggest rival. Tech is. Beating Alabama is what beating Alabama is what Georgia alumni and Georgia fans care about, right? Now, if it comes to a point where Georgia Tech is literally winning, they winning natties, and then it's that type of rivalry, that type of competition, then we'll talk. But as it is right now, Alabama is what we have our eyes set on. Even last season, didn't play Alabama not one time during the regular season, win the whole thing, just dominating, bro. Doing our thing. SEC championship, man. Once again, get clapped up by Alabama, man. So, coming into this game, of course, this was the one I circled. I remember telling my wife early Saturday, before the game, that I'm not even pumped. This is excruciating. And any Georgia fan, if they're being 1,000% honest with you, will tell you it was kind of excruciating, bro. It was kind of, you're like, can we just get this game over with? Let's just catch a quick, 17-16 dub like Kentucky, which, by the way, see, this is, you think, wait, Georgia fans doubting their team. They ain't hyped for the game. Look what happened to the last game we played before Alabama. Beat Kentucky 13-12, son. 13-12. Kentucky, we're Georgia, right? So go, and then we even had a bye week, and Georgia fans are still like, man, can we just get this game over with, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's real talk. That is the vibe, right? When you're talking about like going, because these games have been literally poison to Georgia fans, right? The Georgia Alabama game, I just mentioned how many times we've lost to them and all of those type of things, right? How hard it is for us to beat them. And of course, in the small town that I live in Georgia, there's a lot of Alabama fans. So there's no shortage of you hearing that they just beat you, right? So coming into this game again, I'll be honest. Can we get this over with? Can we just win this thing and just move on? I don't want to but of course, that's why they play the game, y'all. So coming into this, look, we knew Georgia knows who Alabama is. They know who Joe Milroe is. They know how good of a team that is. They've watched them. They've seen them again, played them last year. They got bounced in the playoff. I didn't think they were going to win it last year, but they sure enough took care of business against us to get there, right? So we know who Alabama is. That being said, Kirby Smart, sorry, Kirby, man, you just did not have you didn't have the team prepared in the first half. You just didn't. They came into that game you just didn't. You didn't have Carson Beck prepared. I know that's a mental thing, but like they just weren't ready. Bama ran all over, and it took us an entire half of football, right? An entire half of football to Stop letting Georgia or Alabama's offense run all over the corners of the field. Jesus Christ, the edges were open. And shouts out to Herb Street. Shouts out to Kerr Herbstreit. I am a massive fan of his. He is I love when he called to watch games that he's sort of calling because he really gives you detailed stuff. And like if you're watching the game and you're not a Georgia fan, you're just watching because it's a big game. You heard him explain it. Georgia couldn't stop Alabama across the edge. Just couldn't around the edges. We couldn't stop them. So it took us a half to adjust to that. A half of defense full of 4- and 5-star recruits. It took us an entire half to adjust. Again, Kirby did not have them boys prepared to play that game in the first half. 34-31, it is, man. You got a 17-year-old kid, which that dude is going to be a stud. That kid from Ryan Williams from Alabama is going to be an absolute stud, man. Herb Street is a great analyst. Yeah. Yeah, they did. First half, man. First half. Larry, you are with me. First half. Yeah, Herb Street, man. I love him, man. But yeah, first half, they did whatever. And again, Carson Beck not locked in, threw a couple picks, right? Some fumbles there, a couple things that sort of, the first pick he threw, I was like, damn, dude, it was the weirdest pick I've ever seen. It sort of just went up and kind of fell. I don't know, it's weird. If you're watching the game, you know what I'm talking about. Weird pick. But they just didn't play well. They didn't. They were not ready. And of course, you look at the thing at halftime, it's 28-7. And at that time, I'm like, man, just do what you can. Let's can we again, I heard you start talking about stop the bleeding and all of that kind of stuff. Can we just score some points more? Can we do anything? Can we stop them, right? Hey, shouts out to Milton Buford High School. Hey, no, they couldn't. Nah, man. I'll tell you that they probably could. But after halftime, adjustments were made. And look at you can just go to the box, man. The box. Carson Beck, man, 439 passing yards, dude. 439 in a game. 3 touchdowns, but he also had, guess what else? 3 picks, right? Jalen Milroe, 374 passing yards, right? 2 touchdowns. He also had a pick himself. Georgia rushing was pretty good. The ETN was leading rush 55 yards, right? But Milroe killed us, 117 yards, right? Second half, Georgia starts moving the football, right? Georgia starts stopping these runs and everything that was working for Alabama in the first half. Score gets closer. Now, obviously, we were able to take the lead late in the game, took the lead, and then one of the worst plays I've ever seen as a Georgia fan happened. Again, the young cat I was mentioning, Ryan Williams, caught both Georgia defenders. The Georgia defenders just out of position. How do you catch a pass like that? And then once he caught it, and then there was still the opportunity there for Georgia's the safety in the corner to sort of take him down and tackle him. They didn't. And he scores a go-ahead touchdown, and then Georgia obviously gets the ball, marches right back downfield again. Carson Beck still on point, still hitting receivers. Look, this whole game, missed calls on both sides. It's all of that kind of stuff I feel was pretty even. But again, Carson Beck throws the pass that gets intercepted in the end zone, which ends the game, does for us, and they get to kneel it out and things of that nature. So again, Georgia loses 41-34 to Alabama. Another L we caught to the Crimson Tide. And again, man, it does. I'll tell you, man, it is it's a hurtful thing, man. It's a hurtful thing. That many times in the same school, man. Oh man, I don't know, man. It kind of sucks, man. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, the rest of the season, as far as Georgia's chances to still win a national title or make the college football playoff, dang, no worries there. Top 25 Georgia high school, yeah. There's no worries there. Georgia is I think still going to be there. So is Alabama. So is a lot of these teams up here that are still, I think, that I feel are going to still represent when it comes to the college football playoff. So worries here. Probably going to see Alabama again, whether it be in, SEC championship, as long as they keep winning and as long as we don't lose any more games. That would mean that we would beat Texas. They would too, and then it would move sort of that way. But again, I'm pretty sure we'll see them again. And Georgia, man, got to do that thing, man. Next game, October 5th, we got the Deep South's oldest rivalry coming up. We got Auburn pulling up to Sanford Stadium. We got Auburn pulling up to the Hedges Saturday. So hopefully we can bounce back. And if we can't, then your boy gonna be on here, man, and it's just gonna be the head down every time I talk about Georgia, man. The head down every time. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm just messing with y'all, man. Part of me was hoping Georgia would win, man. Yo, what? Glad I did not see that. Glad I did not see that. Yeah. And shouts out again when I was talking about the Braves that when Darno had the walk-off home run Saturday night, I didn't watch it because I was so locked in on the Georgia game. And then afterwards I was so destroyed by it. And then I saw that home run, I was like, put a smile on my face. And then the next day they lost again to the Royals. And then they had to do exactly what I was talking about earlier, which was go back through there and have to do that whole thing again. So yeah, man. Georgia, man, got to pull through. Got to bounce back against Auburn this week, man. Got to bounce back. We have no choice. Lose this one, and that's 2 losses in the SEC and 2 general losses. We looking rough, bro. Looking rough, especially with the team. Oklahoma and Texas are now part of this league too, so it's going to be makes it even that much harder for us. So there's that, man. Let's move to Georgia Tech, man. Georgia Tech, obviously, again, like I said at the beginning of the show, I am a Georgia fan, so Georgia Tech is the enemy. But I will cover them like I cover everybody else because that is my, that's what comes with you covering Georgia sports, man. You're gonna cover everybody the same way, and that's what we're gonna do here, man. So Tech bye week this week, right? Started off the season beating Florida State, and everybody's like, "Oh, Tech, man," you know what I'm saying? Hey, it was over there in Ireland or whatever. But yo, Florida State has shown themselves to not be that good since that opening week. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's see right. Yeah. Hey man, yes. There's a lot. There's a lot of them kind of songs that come from Georgia, man. So, hey, bring up the random stuff. If you've ever seen any of my other streams, I am as random. Hey, hell, I've been random on this one, man. That's why I've been going for so long, just talking a little bit. So Georgia Tech, they're coming off a bye week. They got Duke pulling up this weekend, so we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, if you look back at them, like again, they won opening week at Florida State. It was in Ireland or whatever. 24-21, pulled that one out. Georgia State won 35-12, lost against Syracuse, 31-28. And then was that Minnesota? They lost 59-7 or won 59-7. And then Louisville, that was who they played last weekend, not this past weekend, but the last weekend before that. They said 31-19, lost. They got Duke again. I said, pulling up the Tech, pulling up in Atlanta this week. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Obviously, let's see how they're looking in the conference, man. They see you're looking at the ACC conference, Clemson leading Duke right up there, man. Duke overall 5-0. Oh, that's a matchup then. Let's see what you got, Tech. See what you got going up against Duke, man. Undefeated. See what you got. Y'all are coming off a bye week, man. You got no excuses, bro. No excuses. You know, man, play like you. And, you know what I'm saying? Just have all the excuses when we play y'all at the end of the season. Go for that one. Georgia Tech at 1-2 in the conference, 3-2 overall. So yeah, man. Again, not much with Tech going on right now since they had the bye week last week. The biggest thing was, like I said, they won that game against Florida State. But if you sort of look back, Florida State is not it's sort of not Florida State. You know what I'm saying? It's not Florida State. So, and real quick, man, as we move on, I know it's getting close. Let's talk about the Hawks, man. The Atlanta Hawks, real quick. Hawks fan. Obviously, Eastern Conference with the Boston Celtics, who just won the world title, with the Knicks, with the Cavaliers, with the Heat, with a lot of these other teams. So it's been a struggle in past years with the Hawks, right? They make the playoffs, but they usually get bounced rather swiftly. I know year before last, we made it to the second round of playoffs, got up against Boston, got bounced rather swiftly into that series, right? I think we caught one dub against Boston a couple seasons ago, and then it was if when you're going with that one. So let me get this up here. When I'm talking about the Atlanta Hawks, baby. Yeah. So Zachary, new rookie that the Hawks sort of picked up when it comes to that first round draft pick. See how it affects the team, man. Obviously, we still got Trae Young. When you're looking at the roster, sort of the regular season schedule starts. Let's see, 2024. No, that's not what I'm trying to see right there. Let's see. Obviously, also shouts out real quick before I forget, man. I can't believe I just lost my mind. Shouts out to Kimmy Mutombo and Pete Rose, man, two sports legends that we lost yesterday. I hardly ever say, rest in peace and things like that. I always just say shouts out because that's what it is, man. Hate to see that happen. Obviously, but Dikembe Mutombo played some basketball for Atlanta, was really good for Atlanta, had some good playoff runs with Atlanta. So shouts out to him. And Pete Rose, man. Put him in the hall, y'all. Put him in the hall. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Put that dude in the Hall of Fame, man. Put him in the hall. Back to the Hawks, man. Let's get this up here. So training camp roster, man. Dominic Barlow, forward. Bogdan Bogdanovic, Kobe Buffkin, Clint Capella, Dyson Daniels, Mohamed Gaye, Kevin Harris, DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson, Vit Krejci, Seth Lundy, Garrison Matthews, Larry Nance Jr., Anoyeke Oganwe, it's hard. Daquan Plowden, Zachary Risaka for France, the rookie I was now talking about, David Roddy, Keaton Wallace, Trae Young, and Cody Zeller. So that's who we rolling in training camp with. Obviously, I'm looking forward to the season. Let's see some improvement, man. We got ourselves one of them foreign rookies. Let's see if we can play some ball, bro. I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm really, really trying to see some of that. See the Hawks, at least let's compete, man. Let's make it past. I mean, look. I happen to think that the both conferences when it comes to the NBA are very strong. At the top, there's just teams all over. Teams that don't even make it to the conference finals that are still really good, man. I think teams that are making their way back to prominence, like Oklahoma City, is thing like that. So in Miami Heat are always good, right? Miami Heat always fantastic. So now I was going to make the playoffs. They got a great coach. Spo is one of the best coaches in NBA history, in my personal opinion. So, yeah, let's see what we do this season, man. Let's see what we do, man. Again, not much news on the Hawks considering that the season hasn't started yet. But, again, last season, got in there, got bounced. Previous couple seasons, got in there, even made a little bit of noise, got bounced. So I'm trying not to get bounced from the playoffs, man. Let's see if we can make it to some, at least the East Conference Finals. East Conference Finals, let's see if I can see the Hawks up there, right? But I think that's the show, man. I think that's the show. Thank any Georgia sports I ain't talked about real quick. In future episodes, like I said, this is my first one, and I was kind of as long as I've been doing content creation, I was still told my wife this morning before I started, I was like, I'm kind of nervous. I hadn't been nervous to do a stream, and I can't even tell you how long. Since I've been sort of like a little bit above my Hey, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, Larry. But I was a little bit nervous, because it's a little bit different than something that I gotten used to doing, but. I am looking forward to doing this again and again and again because this has been really fun. I like the engagement from everybody, and I'm really good. It's really good to see ton of people being engaged and sort of want to talk about sports and listen to what I have to say about sports, which is always incredible. So, yes, once again, man, you guys, I appreciate everybody listening to IE Sports Radio. This is Georgia Sports Central. Again, every single Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Has been solid to see, but it hit some choppy water. Hey, man, good to know. Hey, I had to sort of start looking at all of these sort of angles when it comes to the sports because I'll be honest. Again, I like to keep it 100 with y'all, man. I'm a Georgia fan, right? Not even looking at Georgia lacrosse. Couldn't even tell you what their record was. I could look it up and cover it if I need to. But again, just keeping it real with y'all, man. Just keeping it real. So, again, I'll see you guys Wednesdays. And see, put this back on there. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's go.
Put the fever on the head.